Alright, so today we have a sharpening of a nakiri knife. A lot of folks have been asking me about nakiris, so today I have one for you. This here is the Dow Strong Series X Shogun series. This is a 50/50 bevel, as you can see. Take a better look here. Okay, so with 50/50 bevel knives, it's basically, it doesn't really matter what side you start off on. Okay, so it's just a matter of preference at this point. But a couple of things I want to talk about in terms of sharpening angles, and it's very, very important that you guys at least understand this. A lot of folks will text me, or not text me, message me on YouTube telling me that I am doing an injustice for folks who are learning how to sharpen because I don't tell them what angles to sharpen at. But here is the problem with that, and I don't think anyone else has actually brought this up yet. But look at this knife right now. I'm laying this knife completely flat on the on the bevel, and you can see there's already a gap, okay, on the actual spine here. So let's say we go 12 degrees, which is what, this is probably what 12 degrees is here. We are almost like, we're like I don't know, a few microns away, or like just a hair away from actually grinding on the cladding of the knife, okay? And you don't want that, okay? You really ruin your cladding, and just, these are beautiful cladded knives, okay? And a lot of folks actually have messaged me telling me that why are they getting issues where they're actually grinding down their cladding on their Damascus knives. Well, it's because your angles are way too low, okay? And so this knife here, on the box, it says that the sharpening angle is 8 to 12 degrees, and that may be true, but they're doing these on a wheel, on a grinding wheel, okay, not on a whetstone. So on grinding wheels, it's a lot easier to do to get really steep angles, but on a whetstone, okay, you have a lot more space that you can actually, a lot more surface contact to actually grind against the cladding of the knife. So you have to be really careful as to what angle you sharpen at, because if you're going with 12 degrees, you're really close to that cladding, and I guarantee you that if you try to sharpen this knife at 8 to 12 degrees, you will grind away at the cladding. And the other thing is, let me just wet this stone real quickly, get this stone prepped for us. And by the way, this is a tutorial, so it's going to be a lot of talking. If you guys don't like me talking in my videos, then you can go watch my other sharpening videos where I don't talk as much. But because this is a tutorial, I will talk you through the entire process. Okay, so you guys all know how I find my sharpening angle at this point. I simply grind the knife a few times, or run the knife, and I will play with different angles, and I'll feel for which angle actually feels the best for me. Okay, and right now, this angle feels the best, right here. Okay, so even though the factory says that it's telling me the knife is sharpened at 8 to 12 degrees, I find that trying to go to 8 to 12 degrees, I'm actually slipping a little bit, and I feel like I'm actually hydroplaning on the stone, okay? And I get the best amount of friction right here. So this tells me that this is actually the knife's real sharpening angle, okay? So I don't know exactly what degree this is, but it can fit, you know, this rust eraser here. And most of my Japanese knives, my Gyotos, can't do this, okay? Yeah, right there. So this might be 18, 20 degrees. I don't know exactly what that number is, but I don't really care what degree it is. I just know that for me, this is my sharpening angle, okay? So you guys can find your angles any way you like, but I just want to point out that you can't simply go with a number like 15 or 12 degrees, because different knives are shaped differently, okay? So the bevel cladding on this knife is very, very different. You see the wedge shape of the knife. Okay, so it's relatively thick right behind the cutting edge. Okay, so knives that are shaped like this, you really cannot go with a single number of sharpening angle. I just want to point that out. Okay, so next thing is profile. This here has a very straight profile with a very slight gentle curve, or gentle radius up here. Okay, so this basically tells you that you can sharpen most of the knife on the stone. I'm not going to do it on one pass where basically I just keep a knife on the stone like this, because if you look really carefully here, there is a gap on either side when you press on the bottom tip of the knife. There's a gap up here. If you press up here, the knife in the back area lifts up. Okay, so basically you want to sharpen in sections. For me, I think this knife will be sharpened in 2 sections, the first half and then the bottom half. Okay, and also another person have asked me that why do I choose to sharpen with my knife between a push-pull and a stroke method. Okay, so the reason being is on a knife that has a straight profile, push full is going to be the easiest, okay, because it's straight. But when you have a knife that's curved, if you try to do a kind of a radius from bottom tip to top tip stroke, it doesn't quite get all the angles of the blade properly. So you don't want to do a single stroke when you have a knife that it's got a straight edge. So that's why I choose certain sharpening methods between different knives that have different profiles. Okay. All right, so we are going to go and sharpen this knife here. We're going to sharpen the right side first, just because I'm holding it this way. In terms of how you hold the knife, as you guys know, I bring my middle finger up to the choil. I lay my thumb down, and then my index finger will rest on top here. Try making it so that your hand is not so flexed and not so tense. Okay, bring your finger back just a hair. Okay, if that will help you relax your fingers or your hand a little bit better. I find that when I straighten my finger out too much, I cramp up right here. And I've had a few people email me about that as well. So keep your finger relaxed, keep your hand relaxed as possible, and it will make the sharpening process much easier for you. Okay, so this is my Trocera 800. This has been my workhorse in the studio now for quite some time, and it has never been flattened. At this point, I think it's got at least 5 or 6 dozen sharpenings on it, maybe even more than that, and I've never flattened it. And the reason is I always use as much of the stone's surface as I can. I don't keep everything in the center. So as long as you guys move your knife around when you're sharpening your knives, it will make the stone last a lot longer and not dish as quickly. All right, so let's get started. Here we are. Okay, we're in the bottom half of the knife now. Okay. Okay, that was 2 passes. And it feels there's a micro burr right now, so I'm going to stop right there and turn the knife around. Okay, and a lot of folks ask me, when should you turn the knife around? Well, for me, I always like to feel for a micro burr. Okay, anything that's too obvious, you're taking off too much material. Okay, that's just my opinion. Some people like to take off really large burrs and they can run the knife across a piece of wood. I like really micro burrs. That way, I can just strop the knife on the stone and remove that burr naturally during the sharpening process. Okay, so now we are going to go to the left side. Okay, so sharpening the knife on the left side, very much similar to how I hold my gyotos. Okay, I bring my index finger down first, then I grab the knife. Okay, so that makes it so that I have enough pressure to apply here on the heel of the knife. And so for me, that's the best grip. So instead of trying grabbing the knife first and then moving your finger, I place my finger first right here. Keep it right as close as you can to the heel, and then just pinch the knife real gently. Okay, make sure this finger's relaxed too. Don't make it straight and and flexed. Relax your finger, and it will make everything a lot easier. Trust me on that. Okay, and the thumb goes right on the spine. Okay, so again, we're going to go in 2 sections: top section and then bottom section. Okay. Okay, and the same with the angle, I'm going to find that right angle, and I usually find my angle as I'm sharpening. Okay, so you guys sometimes don't see me measuring and stopping. It's just because I'm actually at the point where I can feel for the sharpen angle as I'm sharpening it. Okay, and that's something that you guys will develop on your own as well. Okay, so you see how I slowed down? It's very important that when you get from here and you transition to going perpendicular to the stone, that you slow down just a hair, because now you have a higher chance of digging into the stone when there's this much surface contact with the knife and the stone. There's a very high chance of you actually digging into the stone and flipping and rolling the edge. Okay, so just slow down when you're here. It's very difficult for you to, really difficult for the knife to actually catch the stone, but when you're here, it's much easier. So just slow down just a hair. Okay, that's one pass. Now we go second pass here. Okay, so we got a micro burr on the other side as well. Okay, so that's the beauty of this Chaucera stone. I use it because it is a great cutting stone. It's very fast. It's always been reliable for me, and so that's why I love it so much. Okay, so now in terms of deburring, okay, at this point, a lot of folks will tell you to run the knife on a piece of cork or a piece of hard felt or a piece of wood. Those all work. Okay, but for me, I don't like running my knives on those things. I just find that the edge is much cleaner by doing it this way. Okay, so this is how I do it. I strop on the stone. Okay, so by doing so, I'm pulling off I'm pulling off whatever excess burr that needs to be pulled off, but the rest of the burr that is still on the knife, instead of being pulled off the knife completely, it's still gonna stand up on its edge, on the apex of the knife, and by doing so repeatedly back and forth, it will make the edge much cleaner than if you were to pull the knife on a piece of wood and potentially rolling the edge. Again, that's just my opinion. Everyone has their own way of doing it. Please don't take my way as the only way of doing it. So for the right side, now normally I go back. Well, there's two ways to strop. You can go forwards, okay, or backwards. But because this is a very linear, straight line, straight edge, I'm gonna go from this tip and I'm going to go straight up. Okay, so I'm pulling it's the same sharpening angle, same angle as I sharpened with. Okay, and I'm basically just pulling that burr straight up towards the apex. Okay, and the stone will pull off whatever excess burr that there is. I'll do this 12 times, and again, I'm applying just this very, very gentle pressure, if any, just very relaxed. The weight of my hands doing a lot of the work. So I'm not forcing the knife into the stone at all. Okay, let's do a couple more here. Yeah, and the key to a good stropping is not applying pressure or not applying more than needed. And for me, I mean, if I'm actually going to weigh how much pressure I'm applying, it might be a pound, just because my arms and my hands are actually applying its natural weight. Okay, maybe a pound or two. So for the left side, this is a little trickier. Okay, so normally I go from the top down to the bottom. Okay, and that works well with a knife with a gentle belly, but this has really no belly, right? So instead of doing a top to bottom strop, I'm gonna go from bottom to top strop right here. Okay, you can go at a slight angle as well, and I'm gonna go this way, straight down the stone. Okay, I'll go 12 times. Be very gentle, just take your time. There's no need to rush. Okay, so we're back to the other side here. We'll feel for the burr, see what the burr is doing right now. Yeah, so it's actually very, very minor at this point. And yeah, so 12 is just right. So now we're going to 10. Okay, now you can also go this way. Okay, if you're more comfortable pulling towards the edge, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, so when it comes to stropping, there is no hard science to it. It's just a matter of what makes you feel the best and what you're most comfortable with. Okay. Okay, that's 10. We'll go here. All right, now we'll go 8. Okay, we'll go 8 times. Okay, now we'll go 6. Okay, now we'll go 6 times. Okay, now we'll go 4 times. All right, now we'll go 4 times. Okay, now we'll go 2 times. Okay, now we'll go 2 times again. We'll do that a couple times. Okay, now we'll go once. Okay, so now what I'm looking for on the stone is the knife leaving any harsh lines? And if it's not, and it sounds really quiet, the knife is ready. Okay, so I'll go one more set. Okay, the stone is looking good. I'm gonna draw the knife off. This is a really beautiful knife. I mean, it's really cool. I've been using nakiris for just a few months, and I really like them for vegetables. They make cutting vegetables really easy, and I'll do a comparison video at some point. Okay, so let's get some paper. Okay, so my subscribers and people who've been watching my videos have been complaining about bad paper. I didn't go out and buy any. This is just paper that is those ad papers that come to your home. And yeah, so this is what I'm using. Okay. Okay, not bad at all. Okay, not bad with a single stone. Okay, who says you need to have at least 2 or 3 stones? Or, you got to go up to a 3,000, 6,000 grit stone to get a really clean edge. You certainly do not. Okay. So, all the feathering here with the nakiri. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the edge is really clean. As you guys can see there, just a few minutes with one stone. Very easy to do. It's just a matter of learning that technique, that proper technique for that, for this shape of a knife. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. I will post a polishing video for this knife, hopefully within a day or two. So I will hopefully post a link in the description. You guys can check it out. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give the video a thumbs up, help me share it and like it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.